Hey guys. So with this one, we just finished recording it. It's pretty dark. There's not a lot of room for jokes in this one. It's mostly child molestation, murder, rape, and
in lots of incest.
And abductions. So it's not really our normal funny podcast. Nothing really in this story we find funny at all. Usually I can find a way to wheedle a joke in. So if you're a little bit squeamish or if you're pretty sensitive, this would be the episode to pass.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Hey fellow murder peeps, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Anthony.
Welcome to Bonding Over Murder, the show where I tell Anthony true crime stories he's never heard of before.
And we are back after an extended absence.
Yes, exactly.
Feels so good to be back.
Yeah, and ushering in the new year with another episode about murder feels pretty good.
Oh yeah. Why don't you tell the murder peeps where you were?
So first off, I'd like to apologize for going off the radar there for a little bit. Because of COVID, I got short notice for an elective surgery I've been waiting for since March of 2021. So I got busy preparing for that, and also Christmas is around the same time, so I just, had to prepare for that as well. I am feeling better. It wasn't a major surgery, but I did have to take a few weeks to recover fully.
Yes, I spent a couple weeks pampering you on the couch, isn't that right?
Yes, I did nothing. It was really nice.
I brought you your food and drinks and everything.
Exactly, and I had a nice electric heated blanket to keep me warm throughout the cold winter days.
Yeah, if you don't have one, get an electric blanket if you're up here in the Great White North. It's fantastic.
We're not sponsored by electric blankets by any means. We're just big fans.
It's not a company, so I mean, yeah. Just
fair.
Get yourself an electric blanket. It's amazing.
So got a case you want us to cover? Email us at bondingovermurder@gmail.com. So today we're going to be talking about a murderous couple in England called Fred and Rosemary West.
Oh, cool.
So a story about two violent and abusive people killing and torturing their victims together.
Oh, not cool. Sad, really. Sad.
Everything we do is sad. Has there ever been a happy case? Well, I guess Fisako Sano, she was returned, but that was still
sad.
Yeah, still sad.
I really
still
just
sad.
chuckle at the cults. I enjoy chuckling at cults. That's
especially
about
our
it.
last episode. Only Quebec will be spared. That's my favorite part.
Good for Quebec.
First, we'll go into the backstory of Fred West, a man who was born on September 29th, 1941 in Muchmarcle. I'm probably pronouncing that horribly.
Muchmarcle.
Muchmarcle. So much,
Muchmarcle.
spelt like the word much, and then Markle, Marcle.
And this is in the UK somewhere?
This is England, yeah.
Huh.
And it is 3 hours and 2 minutes away from London.
What's going on with that name, England? Normally, it's pretty easy to understand, English names and towns, but that one's a weird one.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. He was one of 7 children and was raised on a farm. So, kind of out in the countryside there.
Okay.
Yep.
He's a big old country bumpkin.
Well, 7 children, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the countryside is in England.
Meow, 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 meow.
I think that's more so North America here that we get made fun of for that.
Nah, he's probably a country bumpkin. Anyways, carrying on.
At school, he didn't excel very well, except when it came to woodwork and artworks classes.
Ah.
So very kind of handyman type of individual, I guess. His father, Walter, was very abusive and violent. Gonna segue into that really fast.
Is who?
His father.
His father.
Was named Walter.
Okay.
And he was very abusive and violent.
Ah.
Yeah.
You suck, Walter.
Yeah. Well, he's dead now, so he's, we're just gonna assume he's in hell.
Yeah.
If hell's a thing, he's there.
If hell's a thing, he's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fred claimed that his father would sexually abuse his sisters and taught him to have sex with animals, mainly sheep.
Wow.
Incest and bestiality. Twofer.
Ugh, man, there's so many jokes there, but at the same time, we're talking about kids, so no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make fun of the sheep part, I guess.
Nah,
but
it's still kids. You know what I mean? Because,
Yeah.
Unless he was an adult when his dad taught him how to bang a sheep.
I don't know that part.
Yeah. Let's just move on. There could be jokes, but I won't.
This one's pretty incest heavy.
This guy is really unwell.
Yes.
Okay.
Both of their families are really fucked.
Oh boy.
Like really fucked. Anyway, Fred also claimed that he would watch his father abuse other young girls.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Her family's not that much better. Just for the record, for future reference, we'll get there. Fred also claimed that his mother, Daisy, had sex with him at age 12. So, like I said, tons of incest in this one. Tons of incest. Like just...
That's that town no one talks about in England, apparently.
Well, he doesn't stay there. He moves around a bit.
Oh, okay. Well, there's ants all over me now. I'm really uncomfortable. So let's just carry on.
So he left school at 15 years old and began working as a farm laborer in December of 1956.
Okay.
In 1958, at the age of 17, Fred got in a motorcycle accident, which put him in a coma due to a traumatic head injury.
Ooh.
Yeah. He was in the hospital for 8 days for a fractured skull, arm, and leg.
Okay. How'd he fare when he came out of the coma?
It says, after this incident, family members claimed that he would experience fits of rage.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a long documented link between head injuries and personality change. And anger disorders. Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's, that's kind of one of the things they talk about with O.J. Simpson, right? I mean, it's possible he was always a monster, but a lot of people think it could be a result of his many, many head injuries, right?
I mean, to be fair, he did abandon his first wife pretty quick, so I think he was already garbage.
Wasn't he already a football player by then?
No, I think they were together before, but I can't quite remember.
No, he was a college football player, so.
Oh, okay.
Either way, I'm not trying to give him a break.
He's garbage.
I think he's a pretty big garbage character myself, but there definitely is a link between abusive behavior, violent behavior, and impulse control issues with repeat concussions.
Yep.
So, I mean, this guy had one concussion, but still.
Well, this wasn't a concussion. This is a fractured skull. So that's epic.
Yeah, okay. Still, head injury. We'll call it a head injury.
Massive head injury.
Yeah, we'll call it a repeat head injury, or in this case, just a single head injury. But yeah, I'm not surprised to find out that he seemed different after.
Yeah. And 2 years after this accident, he would get injured again when he fell from a fire escape and was unconscious for 24 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that old noggin took a beating. Holy.
Which I didn't know. I thought fire escapes were more so do places actually have fire escapes?
Do places have fire escapes?
Well, I guess I know they have fire escapes, but I would when I hear fire escape, I kind of think New York, on the outside of the building.
Yeah, some places have that for sure. Yeah, they got to have a way to escape from the fire.
Those are regular stairs, okay?
No, the metal stairs that lead down the outside of the building that can't burn.
Yeah, but we don't have those here, and I've never seen them anywhere else in TV but in New York.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I imagine you would see those a lot more in buildings without elevators. Maybe the older buildings where elevators, they don't have them. Because New York's got a lot of older buildings and stuff.
No, it's true. And I read an article that said most of the fire escapes in New York are actually considered unusable because they're so hazardous.
Yeah.
Safety wise.
Yeah. I mean, there's the office has a fire escape going up the side of the building.
I thought that was just a maintenance ladder.
No, it's a fire escape. Maintenance workers don't just climb up the side of the building for shits and giggles.
All right. I'll have to think about that one, I guess.
Yes. Fire escapes do exist so that humans can escape from the fire.
Don't be a smartass. Continuing on.
Yes. He fell from a fire escape.
Yes. And was unconscious for 24 hours, which is a long time to be unconscious.
Oy, yeah. No. Whew, that's so bad for you.
With your paramedic knowledge, what would kind of these side effects be for that one on top of the fractured skull?
Well, keep in mind, I'm mostly focusing on emergency care, not long term. But the longer you're unconscious, the more deprived your brain can be of oxygen because you may not be breathing properly. You could be occluding your airway. Your head could be face down in the mud or gravel. You might not have an open airway. So the longer you're unconscious, the more time you give your brain to be deprived of oxygen, which means the more neurons can die, which means the more altered your brain can become, always for the worst.
And so when it said unconscious for 24 hours, that's really a coma? Because you can't really be unconscious for 24 hours and not breathing, right?
No, you can be unconscious and breathing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying you're not breathing well usually when you're straight up unconscious. I mean, your tongue and can occlude your airway. Anything can get in the way, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's gross.
Oh.
I'm just, for the record.
Moving on. He is gross.
He's gross. That's my main thing to say, is he's gross. So in 1961, he was accused of getting a 13-year-old girl pregnant, and in the same year was fired for theft in Hereford, which is 28 minutes away from Muchmarkel. Muchmarkel?
It's like March Madness, but it's March Moogle.
Somebody tell me how to pronounce this. I forgot to Google it before I started recording.
It's the
I give up.
March Moogle.
There's no G in there. It's a C.
There's Mudgets living in March Moogle.
Muchmarkel Murder Castle.
March Moogle Murder Castle of Mudgets.
Wow, that's quite the alliteration.
Yeah, I'm trying to like warm up for speaking. Ma.
Yeah, I was literally just about to do that.
The March Moogle Madness of Mudgets in the Murder Castle.
We recently watched Rango again, so for all of you that are lost with the Ma reference.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah. Then he was fined again in Newent? Not sure how to pronounce that one either, which is 35 minutes away from Hereford in October of 1961. Lots of crime.
Okay.
Lots of crime and inappropriate, gross behavior with a 13-year-old girl.
Gross.
I guess I'm not usually civil in this. He can go fuck himself.
Okay. You heard us. Go do it now.
Well, yeah. So Fred moved to Gloucester? Thank you. Gloucester.
Gotcha.
In 1962, which is 48 minutes away from Hereford, so he's made kind of the journey.
Okay.
Yep. Where he began working at a slaughterhouse.
Mm-hmm.
During this time, Fred also worked as an ice cream truck driver. So in 1962, he married his girlfriend, Rena Costello.
Hold on. I have to point out, he's got like the psychopath go-to jobs. Slaughterhouse and ice cream truck driver.
How is ice cream truck driver
I'm sure there are plenty of fine ice cream truck drivers out there, but the ice cream guy always creeps you out a little. He's driving by in his ice cream truck with that creepy tune.
Yeah, it is creepy.
Yeah, he comes out of the woodworks. We don't even know where this truck came from. Would you like some ice cream?
So now he's salad fingers?
I mean, sure. Salad fingers would probably drive an ice cream truck.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's my reaction to that.
Anyways, my point is, it's like a classic psychopath resume. Well, I worked at a slaughterhouse and then hung around young children, giving them frosty treats.
Yeah, the slaughterhouse is for sure. The ice cream truck driver thing doesn't really scream psychopath to me, but...
Let us know in the comments if you think ice cream truck drivers are more likely to be psychopaths. Moving on.
In 1962, he married his girlfriend, Rena Costello, who was already pregnant with another man's child. All right, well, fun fact, he was a bus driver, apparently.
Interesting.
Yes. So in March,
we're not high. I promise we're not high.
This is just always how we are.
It sounds like it. He was a bus driver, man. Whoa.
I hope he wasn't like Otto from Simpsons trying to type a bus driver.
I mean, maybe. Anyways, moving on to... Wow, we are off topic. Moving on.
In March of 1963, her daughter, Charmaine, was born, and his daughter, Anne-Marie, followed soon after in July of 1964.
Okay, good for him.
Yeah. For raising another man's daughter.
Not so good for the daughters, probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so on November 4th, 1965, your birthday before you were born?
Woohoo!
November 4th, yeah.
Nice. There's probably good things happen this day.
Nope.
Damn. Okay, so what happens on this most holiest of days?
When Fred was driving his ice cream truck, he ran over a 4-year-old and killed them.
Oh, God! Why did I have to say that? I feel like I'm jinxing history. I know this already happened, but Jesus.
Yeah,
okay.
It was...
So on the 4th, he murders a 4-year-old. Fantastic.
It was long before you were born, so, So Fred feared for his safety after this incident and moved his family to Gloucestershire shortly after, which I don't really know the difference.
Well, actually, I believe it's Gloucestershire.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
They don't say shire, they say sure.
That's fair. Yeah. I don't know why I'm mispronouncing stuff today. I'm usually better. But...
Well, Lord of the Rings, the Shire. Makes you think everything should be called the Shire.
I do like the Shire. It's I would live in the Shire. Detroit would be
Hell
very...
yeah.
Yeah, it would be a lovely place to live.
I'd feel tall for once. And my feet would only be slightly moderately hairy compared to theirs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In August of 1967, Fred killed Anne McFall, who was an
Why?
18-year-old woman that was 8 months pregnant with his child.
Oh.
She was a nanny for their children and lived with them in their trailer. I guess they lived in a trailer, like trailer home.
So he got the nanny pregnant and then murdered her?
Yes.
Oh.
So So they basically started a relationship behind his wife's back while his wife was like out of town doing like, I guess, business stuff.
This is awful.
Oh, it gets worse.
Yeah.
These are terrible people, which is
Okay.
all that we cover on this show. So
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
we've really done the worst of the worst, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. So she went missing in May of 1967.
Okay. Who went missing? The nanny?
The nanny.
Okay.
Yes. The 8-month pregnant 18-year-old nanny.
Just went missing. They never found her?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So now we're going to go into her past, Rosemary West's past.
Okay.
So his, partner in crime, I suppose. It's kind of interesting that I say partner in crime because I've been to a few weddings where they've called each other their partner in crime.
Yeah, but in a cute, fun way.
This is like actually partners in crime.
I mean, yeah. It's not cute at all.
No, it's not. It's not.
Just
but
awful.
It's like the literal version of that sentence, partners in crime, because, yeah.
I mean, I think I prefer the Ghost in the Darkness. They murdered a lot of people, but at least they were lions. You could be like,
Can't be upset with animals, I guess.
Those ones you can, but, I still would prefer them to these twats.
Yeah.
Let's carry on, though.
Yeah.
So what's up with this lady's past?
So Rosemary was born on November 29th, 1953.
Okay.
Much after Fred was born, because he was 1941, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. In Northam, Devon, which is 2 hours and 20 minutes away from Gloucestershire.
Okay.
She was the fifth of 7 children in her family. Her father, Bill, was an electrician and suspected to be schizophrenic.
Oh, that's a rough go.
Her mother, who's also named Daisy, coincidentally, both of their mothers are named Daisy, which I found kind of interesting.
That is crazy. What weird
because
coincidence.
it's not a very common name. So her mother, Daisy, suffered from severe depression and was subjected to electrocompulsive therapy, or ECT. So that's the kind of shock therapy that they used to use in the 50s, like you see in movies and stuff.
Oh no, electroshock therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, what a misguided attempt to try and correct behavior. Oh my
Again, this
goodness.
was the early 50s, so we didn't know any better at that time.
But, the thing that really bothers me about that, the hubris of it, is we didn't know better, which means we didn't understand the human brain. So to think you could actually correct it by you don't know what you're doing.
No.
You're just sending electricity into a human being's brain and hoping that you can, fry the right spots?
Yeah.
Look, right now, I cannot tell you how a human brain works. I understand that it is infinitely more complex than anything I'll be able to comprehend, but I'm not going to go ahead and start diagnosing solutions for it. If you don't understand it, leave it the hell alone.
That's true. Yeah.
What are you sending bolts of lightning into it for?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Ugh.
Either way, her last treatment was days before Rosemary was born.
Mm-hmm.
Who also went by Rose, so I'll kind of use it interchangeably.
Okay.
Experts believe this stunted her neurological development.
Oh, you think?
Criminal psychologist Dr. Holmes, kind of funny.
That's kind of cool.
States, this is a quote from him, "This stage is often the most sophisticated part of brain development. The parts that give us a conscience, that give us empathy, that stops us from doing heinous acts."
Yeah.
Was stunted because of that, they believe.
Well, just the brain in general, right? She probably had deficiencies in many areas, but the one we're focusing on today is her lack of empathy and, that part of your brain that makes you want to be part of humanity.
Yeah. So on top of this, Rose was also sexually abused by her father.
Oh, God. Schizophrenic.
Yes.
Yeah.
He retired from the Navy because of his wife's mental illness and was obsessed with cleanliness to the point where he would force them to clean the carpets with toothbrushes.
Wow.
What is a toothbrush going to do to a carpet? Like, I can understand tile or laminate or something, but toothbrushes on a carpet?
Yeah, well, I mean, if there's like a little tiny speckle stain, then you could use a little tiny toothbrush. Just think about it. Like, they're cleaning the teeniest tiny. It's a scrub brush. They're cleaning the tiniest little bit of the carpet.
I guess.
This
So,
is
like with carpet cleaner?
Maybe.
And then they're scrubbing the toothbrush like with the carpet cleaner?
Yeah, maybe you're dipping the toothbrush in the water and then dipping it back, or scrubbing the carpet, pulling up all the dirt, then dipping it back in the water. I don't know. I've never done it before, but
Neither.
I imagine you could get the job done.
I don't want to.
Yeah. No, me neither.
Well, also, we don't have carpet in our house, thank God.
Oh, my goodness. We have a St. Bernard and cats that enjoy vomiting. This would never happen.
Yeah, the joys of fuzz babies.
Fuzz babies. Massive, gigantic, horse-sized shag babies.
So, totally worth it, though.
Yes.
Yes. So he ran his home like a military boot camp. His neighbors would state, this is a quote from one of them, "People would see this very charming man, but behind closed doors he was very violent to his wife Daisy. He was violent to some of the children. Rose was to some extent protected from that."
Why? Or how?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
His children weren't allowed to play with other children, and Daisy would get beaten if she chatted with the neighbors.
That's awful.
Yeah, another neighbor would state, "You could hear the screams and the banging and shouting. It was awful."
Yeah, thanks for just listening to it and not actually calling the police.
I kind of thought that too. I was like, maybe they did and the police just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Because like the 50s was a very different place for domestic abuse.
Yeah, it was.
Like, hell, even the 90s was a different place for domestic abuse.
Yeah, we lived next to a situation like that for a while there. We shared a wall with maybe not abusive, but certainly a very noisy and
toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
they
can
were
be
screaming
toxic
at each
without
other
being
constantly.
abusive.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they were toxic. They weren't abusive, thank God.
Yeah.
I would have called the cops if I heard that type of behavior. So Rose found a way to avoid getting beaten. If she made him laugh, he would let her off.
Oh, okay.
So she just knew what he would find funny.
Yeah.
And she got off.
Aw.
You know.
Poor girl.
Yeah. Well, you won't say that later.
I know. I won't feel bad for her later, but monsters are made. They're not born, folks. Like you take a human being and you fuck it up. And then you turn it into a monster.
I think it's kind of nature and nurture. Maybe some people are born with a lack of empathy, and then just their upbringing kind of reinforces that lack of empathy.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll retract my last statement. In my opinion, monsters are made, not born. I can concede the fact that I have no idea if maybe some people just become monsters off the hop. But
yeah,
I think, anyways, that a human is a human is a human. I think it's all about how they're developed.
I think it's both, but we don't need to get into philosophical discussion about that.
Let's get into the sadness.
Yeah, it's all sad. So she didn't do very well in school and would be forced to wear a dunce's cap and sit in the corner.
The only time I've ever seen that was on Calvin and Hobbes.
I've only seen it in Looney Tunes.
Oh, okay. Well, you had the Calvin and Hobbes books.
I
He's
don't
constantly sitting in the
it.
corner with that very angry face with the dunce hat on.
Who developed the dunce's cap? I'm genuinely curious.
Someone who doesn't understand proper development in children, clearly.
Yeah. Oh, you failed? Yeah, you're fucking stupid. Go in that corner, wear this hat to show the world that you're stupid.
The hat of shame.
Shame.
It's so dumb. Whoever invented the dunce cap deserves it more than anyone else.
That's true. That's very true. Maybe it's kind of like the guy who invented pop-up ads, where they were supposed to be meant to be helpful, and then it turned into something that we all hate. And then he said that he had regrets, I think. Is what I read.
I've never heard that.
I read it a while ago, so it might not be 100% fact, so don't quote me on it. But yeah, the guy that invented pop-ups regrets it. So maybe the dunce cap guy regrets it. You never know.
No. The dunce cap was clearly made by someone who's a dick. The pop-up guy was trying to be helpful.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anyways, moving on.
So in school, other students would bully her about her weight because she was a little overweight.
Aww.
And her poor academic ability.
Yeah, this girl can't catch a break.
Yeah. When she turned 13, the family moved to Gloucestershire, which is 2 hours and 37 minutes away from Northam.
Right.
Which is, again, where Fred is.
Right.
So Fred and Rose met on November 29th, 1968. He was 27, and they married when she was only 15.
Now, hold on. November 29th,
68.
Is this... What was the year he murdered the 4-year-old?
67.
So it was a year later.
Or no, the 4-year-old was before... The nanny was 67. So the 4-year-old was 65?
Okay.
Yeah, 65.
So, yeah, 3 years after he murdered a 4-year-old.
And 1 year after he murdered a nanny that was pregnant with his child.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see how this works out for him.
Well, it worked out well, but
I guess.
So Rena, his first husband, left Fred in 1969. She reported that he was violent and sexually abusive to her friends and family before going missing in 1971.
Oh, no.
So in October of 1970, we're going to switch a little bit.
Okay.
Rose gave birth to their daughter, Heather, to which Fred was in prison 2 months later from December 4th, 1970 to June 24th, 1971.
So, okay.
So,
I don't understand how you said that. She
so
gave birth while he was in prison?
She gave birth, and then 2 months later he went to prison for, from December of 1970 to June of 1971.
I gotcha.
Yeah, he went to prison for stealing car tires and vehicle tax discs, which I had to Google what the hell those were.
What was that?
A circular certificate that car owners had to place on the front windshield of their car to prove the vehicle tax was paid.
Oh.
So it's like something the registry gives you, like our little, like what we had for ours with the little stickers on the license plate.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
I gotcha.
I don't think they do that anymore in England.
No, we don't even do the stickers on the license plate anymore.
Well, yeah, we were a bit behind on getting rid of those, to be fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
So Rose and Fred had 4 children together, 2 girls and 2 boys.
Okay.
Rose was known to use violent methods to discipline them.
Yeah.
The girls were tied to the bed and whipped, and the boys were made to watch violent porn and would get hit by a glass ashtray if they turned away.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. It gets bad. It just keeps getting worse, guys.
Man, I didn't know there was violent porn in the 70s.
Yeah.
I guess
there is.
Wow. Okay.
A neighbor reported that one time when they went to the house, they witnessed Charmaine, Fred's stepdaughter, standing on a chair, naked with her arms tied with a belt, and Rose attacking her with a rolling pin.
Oh, no.
So this is his first wife's daughter that she had with the bus driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how he got custody of her. And not, well, I guess because Rena went missing, duh.
Yeah, she went missing.
Stupid me.
Oh, God.
That should be blatantly obvious to me. The girls were sexually abused by both of them and other people.
Ugh.
Rose would have sex with other men for money while Fred watched through peepholes and recorded them, including her sessions, sexual sessions with her own father.
Oh, God.
You're going to be saying that a lot this episode.
Yeah, let's get to the end of this episode. This one's a bad one.
Yeah, I know. But one of my clients recommended it to me, so I thought I'd check it out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it just keeps coming.
This whole thing is a trigger warning.
Yeah, it really is.
This entire episode.
She would go on to having 3 more children by different men.
Ugh.
So somebody made a biography on Fred West, and that person states, she was performing for Fred, inserting things into herself, showing used knickers she kept in jars on a mantelpiece, showing off how enthusiastic it was. So it was kind of like a creepy, gross sex game between the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gross.
Again, normally I would make jokes, but I'm not in the mood now.
Yeah. So shortly before he was released from prison, Rose killed 8-year-old Charmaine.
Oh, God, why?
She didn't like her. She said she was a rebellious child. Yeah.
Okay.
So she was like, fuck this kid.
So did she get sent to jail?
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay, so she kills her 8-year-old daughter.
So when he was released, he buried her body beneath the kitchen window at their home in Gloucester.
What?
Rose killed her daughter, and then he was released from prison like quickly after, and helped her bury the body under their kitchen window.
We're talking like a day later or something, I'm assuming.
I don't know that officially. It just says shortly after.
Okay. Okay.
So in December of 1972, the couple sexually assaulted Caroline Roberts, who is now Owens. They met when she was 16 years old and hitched a ride with them. After that, she became their nanny, but later quit. A few weeks after she quit, the couple brought her back to the house and assaulted her.
Oh.
She managed to escape and immediately went to the police, who find them each 50 pounds, which is about $85 Canadian.
What? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
How dare you abduct this person and rape
assault
her?
them, yeah.
You abducted and raped this person. Please pay us 50 pounds. That'll teach you. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Aye. The 70s are the worst. They're just the worst.
Well, this is also the 60s.
Yeah.
Like 60s. So they were active between the years of 1967 and 1987.
Ugh.
And have a confirmed number of 12 young women murdered, but are suspected to having murdered over 30 women.
Wow.
Their last victim was their 16-year-old daughter, Heather, in 1987.
Wow.
Fred's biographer states she was rebellious, difficult, and refused to collaborate with her father's plans.
This thing just makes me angry because surely they could have been caught long before they murdered yet another daughter.
Yeah.
So they got away with the first one and a whole bunch of other murders.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they didn't get away with them forever.
But they still got away with it. No, the point is they got away. Like they murdered their daughter. And no one at any point, no official, no law, the state didn't care that a human had gone missing.
Well, I'll get to that. He believes that she threatened to go to the police about the murders, and that's why they killed her. She had just finished her General Certificate of Secondary Education, which I think is similar to a GED for those North Americans that are listening, when she went missing, and they never reported her missing. So the police started investigating the couple in 1992.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the way in 1992.
Yeah, and it happened in 1987.
And in the 60s. And in the 70s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they started investigating them when they happened to hear an interesting conversation with some school children. So Detective Constable Hazel Savage heard about a West family joke in which children told them that the couple's missing daughter was under the patio. He convinced his higher ups that there might be truth to this and that they should investigate it. They started searching the house and garden on February 24th, 1994. They found Heather's body first in the garden under the patio, but discovered bodies scattered all over the property.
Wow.
Most of the bodies were found under the floor in the cellar, and others, like Heather, were found in the garden.
Okay.
So they just kept stashing bodies all over the house. The investigation led police to their old home in Gloucester, where they found the body of Charmaine under the kitchen window, because they moved to Gloucestershire.
Right.
On March 4th, 1994, Fred confessed to killing his daughter, but Rose wouldn't be arrested until April of 1994. So she was first brought in for sexual offenses, but was later charged with murder. On June 30th, 1994, both were brought to court before a judge in Gloucester, where Fred was charged with 11 murders and Rose was charged with 10.
What did they plea?
Well, I'm assuming they pled not guilty, but I don't know that. I just know the outcome of the trial.
Okay.
He was rearrested shortly after because of Anne McFall's body was found on June 7, 1994, in a field nearby his house in Muchmarkle. That's the nanny that was killed.
Right. Yeah.
And this field is where they also found the remains of his first wife, Rena Costello.
So these are mostly just bones by this point. These are
some of them,
20 years later of some of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, the nanny was like kind of the first to be disposed of, and then Rena was disposed of in the same field. Oh,
this is nightmarish. This couple is a nightmare.
Yeah. So on July 3rd, 1994, Fred was also charged with Anne's murder. On July 1st, 1995, Fred hung himself in his remand cell.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. His funeral was on March 29th, 1995.
Who attended it?
Which only 3 people attended.
Who?
I don't know who. I just know 3 people attended.
Okay.
It's 3 too many.
Yeah.
Rose was tried in October of 1995. All the evidence against her was circumstantial, and Rose never confessed, but she's found guilty of all 10 murders and sentenced to life in prison.
Wow.
So in October of 1996, their house was demolished and made into like a pathway, like a walkway. Every brick was crushed and every bit of timber was burned to discourage souvenir hunters.
Wow.
Because, I guess people would be like, this is Fred and Rosemary's West brick from their house.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Because I guess people are just opportunistic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the trade of souvenirs, right? This is where because as time grows, the emotions connected to it will fade, but the legend will stay. So if you have a piece of a real legend, even if that legend is horrible, it could be worth something, right?
So this part's going to make you angry.
Really?
This paragraph's going to make you angry. This first part's not a big deal, but
okay, carry on.
Rose was imprisoned at the HMP Low Newton prison in Durham, which is 5 hours and 21 minutes away from London, but was moved to Newhall Jail in Wakefield, which is an hour and 41 minutes away from that prison, because another serial killer had threatened to murder her. In August of 2018, Rose found religion and believes God will forgive her.
Oh.
Because that's how that works.
Well, I mean, that's fine. God's a better, if it depends
He's
on what
supposed to be unconditionally loving,
yeah, exactly. Like, God can forgive her. I sure as hell won't.
Yeah, no, that's true. God's supposed to be better than us, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So.
Yeah, no, fair. There's some unrest among her fellow inmates because of the amount of fan mail she receives.
Oh, God.
I don't know why people would give her fan mail.
Because they themselves are just reaching out to the darkness. That's my opinion.
It's
all the
gross.
monsters around the world want to reach out to a fellow monster that they know is there.
Yeah. Not only does she receive fan mail, she also gets lots of proposals from people who want to marry her.
No, I'm sure she does.
In 2020, she even got lots of Mother's Day cards.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
She changed her name to Jennifer Jones in December of 2020, and she is currently still in jail and has dementia.
Ah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So fast forward to May of 2021, police began the search for a body at a cafe Fred frequented around the time he killed Anne. A woman named Mary Bathsome worked at the cafe in 1968 and was wearing a blue coat when she disappeared. Documentary filmmakers found an image of blue material in an area of the cafe's cellar, because there's a full documentary about this couple.
Okay, I imagine there would be.
Yeah. Police found no sign of any human remains or of anything significant to Mary's case, unfortunately. But
they found a piece of blue material, which is pretty telling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, so long story short, two really fucked up people found each other and decided it would be fun to rape and murder people. But to make sure you really hated them, they also did it to their children.
And other children. Yeah.
One interview that I read that was interesting was one of the 3 children that she had with other men. Their statement said that they kind of got spared from the abuse because he felt like his children were his property, and seeing as they weren't his children, they didn't really receive as much of the abuse as his actual children did. So just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Little interesting interview that I'll add in the article links. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Our next episode will be out January 18th, and I promise it will be.
Yeah. No more surgeries or Christmas.
No more surgeries. That was the only one. I promise. That was the only one. Yeah. Check out our website, bondingovermurder.info, to find out where you can listen to us.
Also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram at Bonding Over Murder podcast for updates and new episode info. Until next time.
Bye.
Happy New Year.